Today we'll talk about anxiety and overthinking. It usually starts with a good mindset. I want to do my best, but one thought leads to 10 more. Am I doing my best? Is this good enough? What if I fail? Soon, your mind isn't helping, it's attacking. But I'm not here to tell you just relax and breathe. What you really need is to understand the traps that your brain sets and the tactics to finally accept them. I know this works because I spent my entire life trapped in overthinking and anxiety. And these 4 tactics are the only ones that finally quiet my mind. That's why I know it can help you too. So, tactic number 1, clarity checklist. Overthinking often comes from ambiguity. You tell yourself, I'm doing my best, but what does that actually mean? How do you know that you're doing your best? And since we don't have a clear definition of doing my best, the what if I miss something? What if I haven't done enough creeps in? Therefore, clarity checklist removes the vagueness. But what is it? It's a short, measurable list that tells you you've done enough so that your brain can stop looping. So how are you going to apply it in real life? Let's say you have a presentation tomorrow. Instead of thinking, I'll do my best for this presentation, make a meaty checklist like this. 1. Write your main points. At least 3 main points. 2nd, research. List 5 solid facts or examples to support your points. 3rd, slides. Create 6 to 8 slides with no more than 5 words per line. 4th, practice. Explain your main idea out loud at least 3 times without reading the notes. 5th, rehearse. Do 2 phone run-throughs with a timer so that you will stay under a time limit. And the final one, record yourself. Watch it and fix every mistake that you can possibly find and then re-record to see the improvement. When you tick these off, you know you've done your best. The goal is clear, the steps are visible, and there's no space for endless what ifs. So, clarity checklist helps. But here's the problem. Overthinkers like us can overthink about the checklist itself. So if you don't fix the second trap, you'll be back to where you started. That's why tactic number 2 is a total game changer. Scheduling your anxiety hour. Overthinking feels endless because you let every what if, negative thought, intrusive thought interrupt your day. You try to push it away, but it always finds a way to creep in. What if you told your brain, not now? I will get anxious about this later. That's what an anxiety hour does. You give your anxious thoughts a time slot instead of letting them run wild all day. So here's how you're going to apply it. Step 1, pick a time in your day, like 7 p.m., and call it your anxiety hour. Step 2, every time a what if thought, intrusive or negative emotion comes up, or just simply having anxiety the moment you wake up, write down in a notebook. Let's say worried about my boss's feedback, scared my project will fail. I suddenly have anxiety the moment I wake up today. Step 3, tell yourself, I'll think about this later at 7 p.m. Step 4, at 7 p.m., read your notes and ask, does it still matter now? Can I act now if that problem still persists? And if it's already done, what will I do differently next time? After time, the anxiety vanishes before your anxiety hour. The other half, you finally know your next step instead of spinning. So now you've got clarity checklist, you got anxiety hour, but here's a trap nobody talks about. Even with both, your brain keeps sneaking in the negative thoughts the moment you get bored. This next tactic feels weird first, but it's the fastest way I know to break the loop. No apps, no hacks, just you and the boredom. Sometimes overthinking sticks because your brain never gets a break. Every time you feel uneasy, you might grab your phone, open a new tab, or start doing something. Anything to avoid that feeling of stillness. But here's a twist. When you avoid boredom, you never let your mind cool down. If you let yourself sit in it, even with 2 or 3 minutes, you hit a hidden reset button, turning the noise dial down in your brain. The next time you're overthinking or feel uneasy in your chest, tell yourself, before I overthink and distract myself with social media or continue to re-edit the slides the 100th time, let's pause a bit. I can do it later. Sit back, let yourself feel bored, even if it's uncomfortable. Don't force solutions or fight your thoughts. Just look at the ceiling and watch them come and go. Wait at least 5 minutes with no devices. You notice your mind slowing down. After a few rounds of this, clarity shows up on its own. Then ask yourself, What am I anxious about? Most of the time it's gone, but if still persists, write it down in a notebook and tell yourself, I'll worry about this later in my anxiety hour. So why is this tactic so important? Because an overthinker's mind is built to stay on alert, always scanning for danger, real or imagined. When you pause, it panics. Why am I stopping? Am I lazy? Did I miss something? Is there something wrong? Why doesn't anything moving? Why are other people moving forward? And me, I'm still here. That's scary. But the fattest way to quiet the noise isn't doing more to prove your thoughts wrong. It's stopping long enough with no stimulation to prove they're never right in the first place. So think of boredom reset as a mental refresh button. Pair this with your clarity checklist and anxiety hour, and you will stop overthinking, not by force, but by choice. Now, the boredom reset can work magic to you, but sometimes I notice certain negative thinking loop keeps coming back and drags me down, and it can do to you too. So the final tactics doesn't just quiet the noise, it helps you catch the loop before it even starts. Tactic number 4, name the loop. So overthinking feels big and scary because it's a blur in your mind. But when you give it a name, like a movie title, it feels smaller and easier to catch. Here's how you're gonna do it. Next time a thought spiral starts, stop and say, oh, this is just I'll never be good enough movie playing again. Step 2, write down. Underneath, write what triggered it. Was it a message from your boss or seeing someone else do better than you? Finally, ask, if this is just a movie, do I really have to watch it again? And most of the time, the answer is no. Let me give you an example. You're about to send an email to your boss, and suddenly your brain starts racing. What if I sound stupid? What if they hate this idea? You pause and say to yourself, this is the disaster email trilogy playing again. You write down, triggered by fear judgment. Then you ask, do I really need to rewatch this movie or can I just send an email and move on? Why does this matter? When you name the loop, you turn the invisible into something you can see and catch. You're not fighting a monster lurking around the shadow anymore. You're spotting a rerun. That's how you break the circle before anxiety takes over. Now you got 4 ways to stop overthinking and anxiety. Clarity checklists. Cut the am I doing enough noise. Anxiety hour stops fear stole the whole day from you. Bottom reset gives your brain the quiet it craves. And naming the loop, that's how you see negative thought, stop it, and move on. If you want more real talk like this, not just the tips, not fluff, but how I actually navigate the stuff like anxiety, overthinking, figure things out, I share in my free weekly newsletter. I'll leave a link below for you to check it out. Now,